The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition, also known as Stanley Parable 2. Honestly, fantastic game. It's short, sweet, and concise, but there's a lot of options in between. It starts off well done enough. The very first playthrough, it takes about 10 minutes, and you just follow the regular story as it is. But then you can also diverge as much as you want to through this or that, especially towards the beginning. There's great divergence there. There's lots of closed doors all over the place, but you can assume that those just go to other offices anyway, so they don't really matter. And then we get to the meat and bones, and honestly, I thought that was gonna be it. It was like 3 or 4 or 5 playthroughs. I thought that was gonna be it, and I was actually ready to be done with it. I was like, but then the new content happened. So here's my thing. Those reviews that the game went over itself, both positive and even, especially the negative, I think those were geared towards the older Stanley Parable versions, because there were 2 other versions of it as well. And with those 2 other versions, they don't have that new content. So I'm more understanding of those negative reviews now. I really am. Not a $30 game, the other versions, because that game costs $30. Here's the thing though, with the new content is extremely well done. Very meta. It has a lot to offer with the museum and all that. My only sort of criticism, this is a minor, my only criticism whatsoever, is that I wanted to see what would happen if you went through the infinite hole and did not choose to teleport back up. Like, did something actually happen, or does it just keep falling? I didn't know. I assumed I could go back to that museum. I was wrong. So there's that. But the memory safe zone, or whatever it was called again, excellently done. The meta humor, well done. And I especially I liked the way the narration goes too, because in the beginning, it's very, he tells you what to do, and then if you diverge from it, he gets upset by it, basically. But then, once it gets further on, he stops caring about the story altogether and just talks to you as a normal person. It's honestly, I love the narration. Now, are there times the narration goes on a little bit too long? Not really. Like I said in the gameplay, the only time what ever bothered me was when you're trying to input that code, the 2845. Because then it just, But other than that one part, I have never had any problems with it whatsoever. I think it was well done the whole time. And the bucket thing was also really funny. I don't know, the whole game was meta. It was very funny, very fourth wall breaking. They challenged the very nature of, choice-based games and how much dictation you really have over anything about it. Ultimately, I'd have to say that this game, I enjoyed it. And other than that infinite hole thing, I see nothing wrong with it. Thought it was very well done. I consider this game to not have a single true ending, but I consider two of the endings to be the best. One of them being the initial ending, without the bucket, when you just follow all the instructions and that's all there is to it, and then you get done with it. And the other ending being the one where you collect all the figurines, and then everything happens from there on out until the game ends. And then, of course, he says, let's go over this, one more time, and then I'll retire the Stanley character. Although he doesn't really retire it because I did it one more time and then just restarts the game as normal. So as far as I'm concerned, that time when you collect all the figurines, that's the end of the game. Because after that, all the Stanley Parable 2 shit stops after that. All of it. And it just is the regular game again. So between the time when the new content door first opens and when you collect all the figurines and all that other shit happens, that's like the meat and bones of the ultra deluxe part of this experience. Honestly, I thought it was well done, like I said before. And there's not much more to it other than that, in all honesty. The very nature of the game questions it all. The fact that that he's the being on the computer, pressing buttons, being told when and how long and all that. That's a metaphor for players. They're told what to do, when to do it, and then if they question to break out of the bounds, it fucks everything up. And that's the whole deal with the whole thing. Right? And the game's giving you the choice of breaking the boundaries. Because normally in game, even in open world games, right? A lot of the time, if you go too far out of bounds, it might not let you. or it might hit you with some invisible wall, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, or that type of shit, right? So it was very well done. Like I said, like 5 times now. Now, if I have anything more to say, then I'll go ahead and say it. But for now, that's it. Not very much to say. I like the game, but honestly, for as much as there is to it philosophically, there's not much to it, like gameplay wise and all that. So, I mean, like, as far as lighting, music, anything else goes, there's not much to say in all honesty, because that's not the point of the game. So that's it. If I have anything more to say, I'll insert it here. Other than that, that's it. This is the review. Hope you have a nice day. As far as my final grading for this game, I will give it a perfect score of A+. And that's about it. So, have a nice day. Take care. Goodbye.